'Twas Friday of Dead Week in early December, and beacons were scruffy from no-shave November. The countdown to deadlines for papers and tests made everyone feel overwrought and depressed. They studied and wrote till they just couldn't think, then paused for a coffee or energy drink. They wandered around to change up the scenery, finally getting in line at the Beanery. Smiled at Carli because they adored her, then looked at the menu to pick out their order. The special was named after AJ Swoboda? Espresso with soy milk and raspberry soda? Whatever, it's caffeine, so just pay and drink it. It won't kill the sleepiness, but it might shrink it. But then, before anyone's spirits sank lower, they all heard the roar of a riding lawnmower. They all smelled the freshly cut grass, and its scent could only announce the arrival of Kent. This man who planned flower beds down to the ounce had come bearing news he was proud to announce. I'm here to tell every fellow and dame that we so enjoyed changing this college's name that we're changing the Beanery's name in addition. We'll name it for one who deserves recognition. Who's that? Carli shouted with fervor and spittle. But Ken said, to find out, you must solve a riddle. Be bold, concentrate, and perhaps someone brave will tell me whether Adam or Eve had a navel. Eureka, said Purity. Eve had an INSI. I learned that by listening to Dr. Lindsay. Is it him that you're naming the Beanery after? But Kent just returned uncontrollable laughter. Catching his breath, he said, someone much cooler. So Jace said, it's gotta be Dr. Reed Mueller. Not him, Kent replied, but I'm glad to report that, like both your guesses, it's somebody short. A student, a youngster, a beacon in training, and one of the last to find out that it's raining because they're so close to the ground. No one whiny, but someone who's quite unmistakably tiny. Enough, shouted Katya. Stop this tomfoolery. You're obviously talking about Jenna Eulery. No way, Katya. I'm guessing Amber, said Natalie. And if I'm mistaken, I'll take up philately. What's that? Aubrey whispered. It means stamp collecting, said Natalie. That's not what I was expecting, said Aubrey. I mean, what's the deal with a stamp? But Natalie shrugged. Better than writer's cramp. And everyone thought of their unfinished papers. Their gas tanks were emptying down to the vapors. Their brains could not study for very much longer. The impulse to give up grew stronger and stronger. We've guessed, so now tell us, said Ian and Connor. To whom are you giving this slightly weird honor? So Kent said, I could make the answer a riddle, but to hurry this up I'll just say, Mason Little. But he's not a student, said Katya, frowning. Kent, is this whole thing just some kind of clowning? No, Kent replied. Mason is not enrolled, but every square inch of this place he's patrolled. And many a lesson he's learned and he's taught. He has no degree, but I think that he ought to be recognized for what he brings to the scene. Little kid energy, just like caffeine. A nod circulated through all the assembled. They knew that though Mason in no way resembled a college kid, he was still quite energetic, and naming the coffee for him seemed poetic. They picked up their drinks, and they glanced at the time, and patiently waited for Doyle's last rhyme. The hope of vacation seemed bright and exciting. So, caffeine break over, they went back to writing.